Welcome to Dr. K. Vasuli channel. In this video, we are going to discuss about why is the research problem important and how to formulate the research problem. First of all, we have to discuss what is research problem. In day-to-day life as a social worker, we are observing many things which is happening in and around us. So, all those things doesn't give proper explanation because we doesn't have proper knowledge about a particular context or particular issues. That is considered as research problem. As a researcher, we have some doubt that is converted as a research problem. That is the basis for any investigations. As a social worker, we are concerned about many issues of individual, group and community. We are following many methods. We have knowledge about the theories and facts. In those things, some aspect doesn't give you clear explanation. We may not understand easily. It is difficult to understand. So, those things converted as a research problem. Research problem is a statement which we decided to know about. It may be an area of concern, it may be an issue, it may be a theory, fact, it may be a method of social work. So anything which doesn't give clear explanation, that condition should be improved through the research. And what are the difficulties it has in understanding, in giving clear explanation? That difficulty should be eliminated. Whatever we have doubt in social phenomena, we have to set as a research problem. That should be investigated with scientific method and interpreted to giving meaningful understanding about existing theory, issues or area of concern. That is called research problem. So without explaining properly about the research problem, we cannot focus in research. We can't manage the research project. So research problem should be clearly explained. It has to give clear explanation about your research and research activities that is going to be carried out. What are the purpose? It introduces the reader to the importance of the topic being studied. The reader is oriented to the significance of the study and the research question or hypothesis to follow. We have to give proper in formulation of research, we have to give clear and exact explanation about significance of the study. So it has to be clearly explained and has to give hypothesis and what method has to be adapted and how they are going to present it. These are the clear detail that has to be explained in research formulation. It places the problem into a particular context that defines the parameter of what is to be investigated. So research problem clearly tells you what is your track, what kind of information you have to collect. That you should not collect information on already available, that already people said through their research. So you don't want to overlap information. So it gives you what is your purpose, what are the information you have to collect, and what are the justification you are going to do. So it directs you in order to proper research, and you can have clear insight. It clearly tells you parameter of what is to be investigated. You should not collect irrelevant information and you should not deviate from it. So it clearly gives you idea and defines you, guides you. A research formulation provides the framework for reporting the result and indicates what is probably necessary to conduct the study, and explains how the findings will present this information. It clearly research formulation clearly indicates you what are the designs you are going to adapt, what are the methodology, it's what type of design you are going to study, that is research design, and whether it is descriptive, explorative or experimental. And it clearly tells you the tools of data collection. It may be a questionnaire, it may be a individual or observation, whatever it may be. And it gives you clear understanding about statistical analysis, whether you are going to have SPSS or Excel, and what kind of statistical techniques you are going to adapt, and how to you present your report. So these are the things clearly defined in a research formulation. So it gives you guidance and it directs you. Okay, in formulation of research problem, there are 5 ways to formulate the research problem. The first one is specify research objective or formulate the objectives. As a researcher, we have goal. Goal should be simple. It clearly specify what intends to study, and time bound. It has time bound and measurable. And this goal is broad one. It doesn't specifically tells anything. For example, to study the domestic violence among women. Here, it doesn't give any proper explanation about anything. So, this broad area can be split into different parts to understand easily. That is called objective. So, objective should be achievable, simple, measurable. Objectives are action or aim-oriented statement. It consists words like to explore, to know, to study, to investigate, to examine, to find out. Because it is the action-oriented word. So, if we formulate to study about domestic violence in the sense, we have to split into different part as an objective, that is profile of the victims of domestic violence, to know causes of domestic violence, to study or explore types of domestic violence, and to examine impacts of domestic violence on family. What is the impact of domestic violence on children? So, like that, we have to split the whole aim also as different objects. So, object is a clear statement that defines all objectives can help you to conduct and develop effective and meaningful research. Research goal, that research problem has to be split into different parts as objectives. The objective is an action or aim oriented work. So we have to use to explore, to know, to study, to test, to analyze. Like that we have to start with the objectives. And second process is review the context of your research problem. It is necessary to work hard to define and test all kinds of environmental variables to make your project successful. Because secondary data, that is review of literature, gives you clear understanding and what kind of things we have to consider. The information we are collecting from various sources like government departments, organizational records, journals, magazines. Information was already available, which was collected by someone, and we are getting into that for our research problem. We are reviewing whether in our research we have formulated research problem. Is it correct or not? And in what way we have to carry out? In what way we have to do it effectively? These are the purpose we are collecting and reviewing based on our research problem. Third step is explore the nature of research problem. So, always starts his research by identifying the broad research area based on his interest or based on his knowledge which already have and based on their expertise. It has generally explained, but the researcher decided to study or conduct investigation. First of all, the researcher should select the variables. Variable is, what is variable? Variable is a statement which has values, and based on that we are going to measure it. So we have to set up variables. For example, study about conflict resolution, crime control, unemployment, political instability, cultural practices in a particular community, social and religious fragmentation, domestic violence. Is it gives you clear idea? No, it is a broad area of research. The area of research has to be split into a statement, clear statement. So, we are setting variables, the range of variables, and for best understanding, we have to have study about the relationship between the variables. Some of them can be directly relevant to specific research question. For example, what is the impact of domestic violence on the emotional development of a child? We are trying to say that domestic violence has impact on development of child. So here two variables and their relationship has to be studied. How domestic violence affects the child's academic performance. So we are here also we are trying to study the relationship and the range of variables. And what are the effects of domestic violence on a child's physical health? How domestic violence influences the social behavior of children. So like that we are exploring the nature of research problem. We are trying to find out the relationship between the variables. It may be symbol to symbol. In formulation of research, we have to determine variables relationship scientifically, because in research we are going to adopt scientific method, which means step by step process One after one has to be performed. We cannot skip the steps. So we have to be very focused about it. In any problem, all the factors, social factor, economical factor and educational factor, cultural factor and political factor, these are the factor has to be influenced. So if we study the relationship, we have to set as a variables and we have to follow scientific method to understand or to create a certain sequences of repeating behaviors over time. So we can't eliminate one factor from another. It has interrelationship. So the variables has to be set based on that and we have to focus on it. The process is alternative approaches anticipate the possible consequences of alternative approaches. For anything in any process, we have to find out alternative approach because we cannot anticipate what will occur in between. And based on that, what are the consequences, the impact of sudden happening. So we doesn't know. So we have to be very proactive and we have to find out alternative approach based on our creative. So there are different consequences that each course of action or approaches can bring, and that is why as a researcher need to anticipate it. As a researcher should be proactive, should be creative. We can expect the risk and issues. Risk may be a positive or may be a negative. It can create positive consequences or negative consequences. So we doesn't know. As a researcher, as a risk taker, we have to anticipate, we have to expect and we have to decide alternative plan A and B. We have to decide it. The primary aim of the formulation of research problem is to view the selected topic in terms of or within the boundaries, and it has to be split into different objectives, and the objective should be refined or researchable for achieving the research topic, and it gives you clear and detailed idea about designs for research or thesis itself. The researcher adopts sometimes different writing style for question and objectives. The research questions may be written as a composite or two or more aspect or variables. It clearly tells you the variables of our research and what are the statistical tests you are going to conduct for statistical test and how you are going to present your findings. So it's a framework. It's a gives clear picture about your research because in research formulation itself it gives clear idea, or that means significance of the study, why you are studying, why have to study, why you are telling your research topic is particularly different from other research topic. So these are the things has to be explained in formulation of research problem. Thank you.